All right, welcome back, everyone. Bienvenidos a todos. Hoy es el día 12. It is day 12. Let's hop into our review, our recall. We got a lot of reviewed vocabulary and new vocabulary yesterday. So schedules, right? Schedules. Try to group all these together in some way. Buenas tardes, Gecko-san. Whoa. Are you? Wait, am I? Oh, I'm still early today. Quite late though. Quite late. Oh wait, did you have daylight savings time already? Or are we only 5 hours apart now instead of 6 hours apart? I'm doing pretty well. We're having a bit of chatter here and there. Yeah, how are you coming along with your stuff lately? Yeah. I was gonna say, oh my gosh. Here's what I was thinking. I was gonna say, Saikin como estás? That's legitimately. There's only a 5 hour difference at the moment. Yeah. Okay. Because it happens for a month. I'm not sure if it's between us, but in Germany at least, and in Britain over time when I was playing with people like online and stuff, there's a period of like 26 days. The moment when daylight saving times happen, there's a period of 26 days in which there's a greater hour or a shorter hour difference. And this is me since daylight savings time is removed, so we're moved 1 hour forward, it's 1 hour less on the other side. At least that's how I worked it out with my, like, there was a time when I played video games with someone who lives in Germany, who resides in Germany, and every time that happens is like, yeah, we really fill those 26 days. But I don't know if it goes the other way around. Time is weird. Mixing language is divertido, ne? 真的吗？真的好笑。Very very funny, right? 面白いね. I think you switch on the 30th here. Okay. Yeah, so we still got some time before we're even closer in time. Isn't it lovely? Right? Steaky ne? Did you do anything with Spanish yet? Which, by the way, I didn't really notice, but people don't really like the modern age of people don't really like On the Road. What is that about? Okay, hear me out. Since I haven't read a lot of books lately, and then we were talking about the last time we were talking about On the Road, right? It's kind of weird to me. Okay, I know this is gonna sound like, well, then everything's good or something, but it's hard for me to dislike someone's personal book. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's a little bit weird to think that, well, this guy's like kind of writing a somewhat autobiographical thing, and you're like, I just don't like your life. If you know what I mean. Like, to think about reviewing a book that is like a projection of someone's life, like, we're not talking about a work of fiction or an attempt to like subterfuge or have an agenda or like a persuasive piece or something. We're talking about something like, here's my best way to express some part of my life, and they're just like, nah, I don't like it. 2 out of 5 stars. I feel there's something weird about that feeling. Maybe I'm a little disjointed and disconnected with stuff, because maybe that's how other people feel about themselves too. Here's my concession. The kids, the younger people, like 20-year-olds that I meet today, they actually talk really terribly about their own life. So, in a way, when you're saying, well, they don't treat other people like the way, I actually think it's the other way around. I actually think people think their lives are really boring. So, therefore, they find also the boringness in others and find things disinteresting a lot more easily. Because in my opinion, if there's anyone who have a book that they've written about their life that's out of time and space, it's interesting because I can't never live that time anymore. So when I was reading some of the early chapters in On the Road, my only thought was, hey, here's a lens to a time period that I can't possibly ever experience anymore. And granted, there are ways to obviously evaluate a book. There could be a chance the book is perhaps not written in a way that is understandable and all that. Those are mechanical considerations. But the reading some of the reviews, right, saying like, "Oh yeah, this is a boring book." I'm like, that is the world we live in today. Personally, I find it very difficult to find other people's lives boring. Maybe because it's a uphill battle. I feel like it's like pulling teeth trying to get people to share something about their lives, because I honestly feel that the vast majority of people that I talk to find their life very, very disinteresting. I, I I'm also guilty of that as well. I could also I'm guilty of deflating or deflecting any in making my life sound interesting. That doesn't mean I don't want to tell my story though. Like I still tell stories from my life. And they're very mundane things, but told in a, I guess, a little bit more exuberant or elaborate way, in order to bring interest to my life's tale, right? But man, is it so difficult to find people willing to talk about their life as though they had some genuine interest in it. Um, at least that's what On the Road is making me think about. John Steinbeck's books, like Travels with Charlie, made me think about that all the time. And I was in high school then when I was reading Travels with Charlie. Um, when I'm reading it, it's like, man, I wonder what my book would look like, right? Like my life's book up to this moment. That's why I like those books, those types of books. It gets you to think like maybe you should write your story and tell your story, kind of thing. I'm going through Duolingo Spanish 1 unit per day at the moment. John, you okay, so to speak. Except you already did those back in 2020, so you're just getting them to legendary as a review. Nice. Okay. Oh, did it change much? Actually, I'm actually I wanted to ask you that because I know you had earlier explained. How much did it change? I really like the mobile one. Like the little TLCs they did in the mobile one is already noticeably different from the desktop one. You can see how the style might not be everyone's cup of tea. I understand that. I can definitely see that for sure. But indeed, this book is a life story and experience. In that sense, it doesn't make sense to for you to dislike it. Yeah, it's something. It's a pocket thing. It's an opportunity to learn and broaden one's horizon. Did I finish? No, 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 no. Not even close. No, no. I read like the first chapter, or quote unquote, the first place I can put down the thing. He talks, the way the book is written feels like something I would consider like a form I would write in, just like make observations. It's very observational. No, 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 it's not even close. I'm still like watching One Piece and doing anime stuff. Oh, here's a fun coincidence, Gecko. This unit in Wanikani taught the typhoon, right? Uh, or no, Taifu, right? Taifu. Um, and typhoon, by sheer coincidence, not too long ago, maybe like 2 months ago, I was talking about words that I know that came from Japan that people might not know, and it's typhoon. But just by sheer coincidence, we got that vocabulary in Wanikani. And yesterday, when we were watching like Haruhi Suzumiya, like the orders are different, but in episode they use the word typhoon. It's so funny. Like These things, you can't make up these things. Like, in what are the chances? There wasn't even a type. It just happens to be that one episode. Of all the things to pick up on, you pick up on the vocabulary typhoon. Like, I don't even say typhoon in general, largely because in this hemisphere it's hurricanes, right? In this in the United States, where the phenomenon happens, they use the term hurricane. Typhoon only happens in the other side of the planet, or depending on which, like, ocean or hemisphere or something. As a disclaimer, you never use the mobile version. The format structure did change quite a bit since 2020. Oh, dude, the mobile version is... I haven't used the mobile version up to this point, but I had to check now, and it's fantastic. I think it has even more activities, but the new stuff you don't have to legend. Interestingly enough, it's really cute. I mean, I don't think you're missing anything. Like, most of the time, you know, Duolingo is about quantity, and this is going to be... I'm not saying this as a bad thing, but most people might see it as a bad thing because they dislike Duolingo. They focus on quantity over quality, over substance. I'm not going to even say quality. Quantity over substance. So what I mean by that is the stuff that's missing, which I'm about to go over at the beginning of each stream. That's the 3 podcasts and the 1 adventure, is another way to represent the vocabulary that's in the thing. So a lot of people could say, well, I don't want to do this. It's more repetition of the same thing. It's not as interesting if I already know the words, right? So that's substance. The substance is less. It's repeating the same thing in a different format or structure. And obviously, for those who are incredibly pragmatic, if you know the word already, they're just going to skip ahead, right? You don't really need to do all these things. I'm having a blast just listening to the the things, which I'll go over now. Interesting. So now we get to relate to each other on our experiences. That's kind of neat. And it did change quite a bit. Interesting. Were there stories when you started back in 2020? I mean, Duolingo was already 9 years old, so I imagine these things were there already. Okay, so let's go over some schedule stuff. So schedule, we got hoy, right? And mañana. We gotta need those. Do we have yesterday yet? No, we don't have yesterday yet. Other schedules, we obviously have the days of the week. Domingo, lunes, martes, miércoles. Oops, I keep doing the accent the other way. Miércoles. Jueves. Viernes. Sábado. Sorry. Okay. There were stories already, but they were completely separated in the practice section and not included in yours. Oh, okay. That's an interesting way to go about it. They did that for kanji as well. Kanji and Hanzi within my kanji and Hanzi experience. So what I mean is, since they added kanji and Hanzi 2024, right? Last year. Near the end of the year, the mobile version and some parts of the desktop version have the kanji units in the course. So you have to clear the kanji units to do. But I already did that because at the end I was doing the thing where you go through the unit, but then you have to at the end of each lesson set, I go to the kanji section and do as many as I can within that time period and go back and forth. But it is naturally being stuck in there now in the mobile one. Interesting. So that kind of reminds me of what they're doing. They like test separate things like on the side, maybe throw it into the practice pile or like make a separate thing on the side, and then once they figure out where they want to stick it, then they eventually just stick it back in to the course. Seems like a great way to go about it. I'm guessing the listening stuff and the reading stuff, only listening, only reading was at one time part of the practice set, because you can still do like only listening and only reading stuff. I do enjoy the only listening stuff. It's pretty, like, I walk around, I'm just tapping away. I think speaking, like doing exercises by speaking into the mic is choice, but I think that's a crutch for me because I don't like reading as much. Or what I mean is I don't use my eyes too much because I get like tired. All right, schedule. What else? We had semana. La semana. Fin de semana. Anything else with scheduling? We got things that have schedules. So baile, el baile, la película, el concierto. What else we got? Just throwing la clase. La fiesta. And then de cumpleaños. Cumpleaños. Movies, dance, concert, partido. Partido. Oh, and then we have partido. We also have football and baseball. Anything else was kind of, that's quite a lot. We got 27 yesterday, right? Something like 27. Phrases. ¿Qué? ¿Qué? We already have donde. ¿Cuándo? I keep writing the accent mark tilted the other direction. ¿Qué? ¿Cuándo? Día. As a separate thing. Día. Huh. How many is that? 3, 6, 9, 11. We want to hit 20. 11, 14. Yeah, this is good enough. All right. So summary of yesterday's evening stuff. So we had 3 podcasts, right? It's on average 3 podcasts. First podcast is Lily, Strangers with Lily again, right? I think. No, it's not Strangers with Lily. It's one of them is Falstaff. So let's do Falstaff. So Falstaff expressing happiness or announcing happiness. Yeah, announcing happiness. Or no, not announcing happiness. Announcing something. I think they were like talking about... ah, what was the joke here? I don't remember the Falstaff joke. I kind of like the punchlines. So the guys were thinking about their schedule, right? What is it called? Oh, it is announcing happiness. It's called announcing happiness. And Falstaff said something about... From what you remember, Duo, at least the Spanish course, used to be more free. As soon as you completed at least one lesson, you would unlock the next. Now you have to complete all. Except... Oh, yeah. And even earlier, I don't know when they swapped from it, but back in the day, the stuff used to be like separated into... Were you doing this yet? Where they separated it into like disciplines? Like speaking, talking like into categories? Were you were you after that or before that? When they were into like categories where you like different outputs and different inputs, so they like separated into those things too before this track was made. What was can't quite remember what Falstaff's punchline. I really shouldn't. What was the punchline? He made a joke. I don't remember. So the next one is Lucy. You don't remember that well, but you know the units definitely were not as linear now. Oh, okay. As now. I see. I really like this punchline, so I'm trying to get to the punchline. Hold. Oh. Oh. I remember now. So, humans announced the punchline was humans announce their happiness like it's an achievement. In the bear world, you just sleep under a tree and be happy about it. I like the punchlines in the bear world thing. It reminds me of a video game where they redefine all the human logic from a monster's perspective. It was a puzzle game called A Monster's Expedition, and the people who are writing it was making it from the perspective of a monster. Like humans like don't really exist in the universe, and you discover things. So here's a computer, and then how do they describe a computer from a monster's perspective? Like, oh, this is where humans were observed to spend a large proportion of their day using their fingers to strike the keys in order to produce images on this glass box or this glass display. It's like, yeah, that's probably it looks from the outside. So Falstaff is doing the same deal. Lucy had two people at a bus stop. Two people. This quote goes deep. I know, right? I think the Falstaff quotes are really good. Like, what was the one with the traveling one? Humans require a lot of paper to move around. In the bear world, your home your home is where you go, so you just go. I'm like, okay. I think the Falstaff ones are so fantastic. Lucy's one is Lucy is always listening. Lucy is listening is the bit. And Falstaff is Falstaff's Guide to Humans. I'm like starting to rack up a general gist of things. So Lucy is listening. So it's two people at a bus stop. And they're talking about each other's schedules. Or they're talking about schedules. And these people spoke really weird. Like, I'm not even sure if it's intentionally weird because the vocabulary was too restrictive. But someone said like, is today Monday, right? Monday, right? You know, I don't know. El día es lunes, right? And then the other was like, no es lunes, right? And then they just suddenly said like tomorrow, actually they said it is Monday. And then the guy just randomly says in the middle of the sentence, tomorrow is Tuesday. I'm like, wow, that's kind of weird. And immediately afterwards, Lucy's like, huh, they talk weird. Why are they saying that? Something must be going down. Must be code. Must be. Oh, I spelled weird incorrectly. Wait, is that how you spell weird? Yeah. So must be code for some meeting tomorrow. And I'm like, you know what? That checks out. It was really weird. Like it was just two people that were saying, "Is today Monday?" He's like, "Oh, I have something on Monday." And then that guy's like, "Oh, I have something too. Tomorrow is Tuesday." And then the conversation just ends. It's like, "All right, see you later." I'm like, "What the heck?" I would be suspicious too. So Lucy is like the old grandmother that's suspicious of everything, right? That's the bit. And then third was Lynn. So it's late night with Lynn's. Late night with Lynn. She's the lazy one. So her bit was like, here people tell me about what they do and hang out with me while I do absolutely nothing, right? So late night with Lynn. And it was two people talking about their busy schedule. Oh, one person talking about their busy schedule. And obviously she makes a busy schedule, like studying and stuff. And she mentioned like, well, while they're working their brain, I make sure I rest my brain. That's a deep cut right there. Like, oh, I'm busy resting my brain. I'm like, oh, okay. Other than that, in terms of Duolingo, I am skipping one unit at a time, one per day on the intermediate English course. Ah, okay. And then you're also doing legendary on 2 Dutch lessons per day, 1 legendary Japanese older units, and 3 Japanese lessons half a bubble. Wow, you're doing so much. Plus, okay, Haniwani shadowing. I see. Man, are you telling me that I need to do more so you can do more? I like it. I like this. I feel like I should hit it harder now. That's a lot. Okay. And then adventures. So the adventure was, who were you? You were junior. You were junior, and you were in the house, and it's really cold. Frío. Frío wasn't introduced yet, but it was muy frío en la casa, right? So you needed to go around the room to find Eddie was in the room too, and said that you need the following things. So you needed to find in abrigo, right? Abrigo, sombrero. And also one that wasn't introduced, and it was bufando. Ne? Yeah, bufando. A scarf. But that was it. You know, get ready to go out, right? It's cold out. Actually, it was. I don't think it was cold in the house. It was just it's cold in general, and then they're about to leave. It looked like they were about to leave. So somehow Zadi was in the room too. I don't know what Zadi's relationship is with Unier and Eddie, but Zadi just happens to be in the house, telling you that you should go grab your coat and your hat. Anyways, that was the bit for adventure. Anyways, let's get into what's happening here. Talk about your life. All right, 5 units. May I ask, how long have you been doing Spanish? Like, what, like, not how long, but where are you at with Spanish? Are we talking about you reading, like, you telling me the intricacies of psychological behavior in Spanish? Or are we talking about, let's talk about, I don't know, chilling at home watching TV? What are we, where are we at here? Are we reading classic Spanish literature here, Gecko? Talk about your life. Let's see. Usted estudia... ¿Usted estudia francés? Okay. No. Oh, wait. That's so relevant right now. Of course you're studying French. No estudio francés. ¿Dónde trabaja? ¿Trabaja usted? Okay, we have trabaja, which is to work. Yo trabajo en una fábrica. Factory. Did I know that? I don't think I knew factory. Factory is new. No, please don't do more. I won't be able to keep up. You can only keep up on dual Spanish because you do legendary only. Okay. At some point, you'll catch up to where you stopped, and we'll do it full lessons too. Ooh. So what you're saying is I gotta hurry up. Actually, where did you stop? You should stop. Fábrica. Fábrica. ¿Dónde bebes? Yeah, where do you live? Yo vivo en England. I have not seen England before. Yo vivo en Inglaterra. Inglaterra. Oh, I can't today. Terra. No. Terra. That's the most I got. One tap. Fine. Banana. Oh, okay. Spanish words. There's difference between N and Nye. Yeah, Spanish N is pronounced the same as the letter N in English. Necesito, right? Necesito banana. I don't know why. As in nest. Okay. But Nye is a little tricky. It almost sounds like a nya in canyon. That's pretty good. Pretty good. Canyon. Mañana. Cumpleaños. Yeah. As in canyon. You could do nyanya, you know, for the Japanese enthusiasts out there. Nyanya. I just kidding. I don't know why I think I've watched too many youth Japanese videos lately. You always got to do the nya everything for fun. All right. Let's go in here. What do we got?
Francés.
¿Hablas francés?
Habla francés. Okay. Okay, we're good.
Tú no estudias.
Tú no estudias. This is the Okay, we're just conjugating the rest, right? We're still conjugating the rest. What the heck? You gave me don't. Why do I need do not?
¿Dónde estudias?
I'm becoming I'm starting to use contractions again. I think one thing that over these years have instilled in me with Duolingo, for especially Duolingo, is that they use contractions. I don't use contractions very often, but now I do. It's back. It's back with a vengeance. I just used a I'm pretty sure I just used the contraction without even noticing. You stopped exactly halfway through section 5 out of 8 total. Interesting. You think you got to be 1 level, but I'm definitely rusty, especially in vocab. It comes back quite quickly with the recent reviews though. I know, right? It feels like riding a bike. I still feel like it's a riding bike. I almost feel 20 years younger, really. I still even remember all the jokes like que pasta, or hasta pasta and stuff, or la mesa. La mesa. I don't want to slam the table or it's gonna shake everything. Or partido into pantalones. We do have partido, but I only saw pantalones once in one of the stories. There's so many like immature like high school things that are coming back to my recent memories. ¿Dónde estudias?
¿Dónde estudia Pedro?
¿Dónde estudia Pedro? Why is it at the end? Where okay.
¿Dónde estudia usted?
It's not addressing Pedro.
¿Dónde estudia?
¿Usted?
Usted.
Antonio habla español.
Okay, so now they're conjugating the rest, right? Estudiar and hablar. Okay. Antonio español. Antonio habla español.
Señor, ¿usted habla español?
Señor.
Usted habla.
Habla. What?
Habla.
Oh.
Español.
¿Tú hablas francés?
No, español. Mi hermana habla francés.
Sí, yo estudio español.
Okay. Yo estudio inglés con mi esposa en la universidad. I mean,
Universidad.
that kind of just looks like a biblioteca, but or it could be anybody's house as well.
Él quiere hablar inglés.
Él quiere hablar inglés. You don't read books in Spanish, haven't yet anyway. You did spend a few days in Spain in 2023, and I felt I could manage basic everyday conversations. Nice, nice. Lucky you, Spain. Where'd you go? Where'd you go in Spain?
Hablar.
¿Quieres
Hablar.
estudiar inglés?
¿Quieres estudiar inglés? Barcelona. Ooh, pretty. Very pretty.
Juan
Estudia francés. Francés y español.
Español.
Yo
Yo necesito
necesito
estudiar
estudiar
más.
más.
Wait. Hold up. Now I'm curious. Okay, there's definitely a grammar point in there, but this is definitely a grammar point. I'll have to double check in the evening. There's a grammar point there. Do you want to study for me that came naturally, but like naturally in the sense of I've heard it before, and I'm like, yeah, that sounds good. But it could be... That's a grammar point. Who are you talking to? Is SD actually in this chat? Wait. Oh, that must be from yesterday. How are you reading chat from yesterday? I read a message. You said at SD, yes, it will, I think, because Spanish is objectively easier than Mandarin and Japanese for English speakers. So he will get better at it faster. And then you wrote what just now. It shows his chats here. And then you type what again. You can see his message here. Oh, okay. I'm not talking to Gecko, by the way. Oh! Wait. Yeah, I don't know who you're adding, because I'm talking to Gecko on the other end. Yeah, that's from yesterday. I disagree with you that it's objectively easier than Mandarin and Japanese for English speakers, because I'm not only an English speaker, but that's a little reductive. I did answer his question yesterday, though. I would say it's quicker largely because there are things that I've already had exposure to. That type of comment seems incredibly reductive. That's strange is showing his message here. Yeah, that was from yesterday. Yeah, I remember him asking. Oh, but it was after midnight though. No, it wasn't. It was in the middle of the day. I don't know why it would show up now. But yeah, sure. I don't think any language is objectively easier or harder than another language. I think self-selection tells you if it's easier or not. For funsies, I also jumped. You also jumped at the end of the French duo course from English just to see what it was like. Oh, how was it, Gecko? It was funny because it was overall good and correct, but a few sentences and translation did feel a bit weird and unnatural. So now you're assuming it's the same for the other languages, which my level does not allow me to verify. I totally agree. I totally agree. I think some of the Chinese ones felt weird to me, largely because I don't hear them, but it still could be that I'm not Chinese. So, or what I mean is, like, I'm not whatever they base their things on, possibly. Like, there are phrases like, huh, well, I mean, it makes sense. You know, like, the sentence itself still makes sense, but, like, and then, recently I was doing the Spanish stuff, right, Gecko? And SD and Nico, especially Nico, mentioned already that there are some weird things here and there, so we were discussing it. All the more information, right? All the more information. Do you want to studying? Yeah, and the comment about like Spanish is objectively easier than Mandarin and Japanese for English speakers. The act of speaking English doesn't make, in my opinion, objective sense in terms of leap of logic. So what I mean by that is perhaps Spanish is, I would maybe potentially argue to support, Spanish is objectively easier than Mandarin and Japanese for English writers and readers. But speaking is irrelevant. In my opinion, it's far more irrelevant to the idea of being objectively easier between the two. But writing, I would objectively probably have a fine time agreeing with you. But the idea that someone speaks English doesn't translate to that rational argument, right? The objective argument. However, even then, given all the perception of difficulty or not, I think it's heavily weighed when it comes to the perception of difficulty in language to the person's history, which reducing them to what type of language they speak is very reductive and incredibly presumptuous. And because of that presumptuous nature, I do feel there are quite a lot of people who are either scared or incapable, or feel that they are incapable of learning specific types of languages based on those reductive summaries. You get what he's saying? Spanish has similar grammar to English, and also the fact that you don't have to learn another script to learn English if you already knew. But you're not hearing what I'm saying, Seth. You said you get what he's saying because of similar grammar to English. Things that are similar can be confusing. Things that are different can be easy to remember. And also, it's not a fact that you do have to learn another script to learn Spanish. He's talking about English speakers. An English speaker doesn't necessarily have the acquisition of a script. For example, from my perspective, it's not like I don't understand Chinese. I can't read Chinese. Right? Like, the whole point of me learning Chinese is because I can't read Chinese. So the idea is it's very important to know that when SD was asking me, SD already knows that I'm catching up on Spanish. I already know Spanish, quite a lot of Spanish. So it's not only objective, it's also subjective. In a way, I guess. I guess the fact is I already know Spanish. So there was a lot to it than reducing someone to whatever the language they speak. My parents can speak a bit of English, but sure as heck they didn't learn by reading English. So the whole idea of trying to like generalize speaking and reading, I think that comes with a lot of baggage when it comes to learning a language. Some people like to reduce that perspective, and I think it limits them, in my opinion. Overall, it limits their perceptions about how language is acquired. It did make you wonder if the French course had more checked, validated by actual French natives. Interesting. I'm actually kind of curious how they evaluate stuff. Did you ever take a look at the staff list, Gecko? The staff list at Duolingo. I actually took a look at how large the staff is for each course. And I mean, this is reductive too, I think, the criticism. A lot of individuals say that Duolingo courses are made by programmers first and foremost. And I think that's incredibly disrespectful. The product doesn't necessarily have a design philosophy that can measure the validations and stuff. So you and I are guessing, right? However, the staff list does indicate that there are people who aren't just programmers that are in each of the course. So I have often thought about this as a way to think about how when someone criticizes something and yet the evidence is there that to the contrary, yet it doesn't it doesn't have them questioning whether these things are validated or not. And personally, from my experience, I'm actually quite skeptic. I'm a skeptic in people's criticism. Like, when they reduce things to like, oh, hey, there's this thing. No one ever says this. Clearly, because of this example, there's no professional or native speaker oversight for this product at all. actually, it's to the point where when someone says, I have a bad time with Japanese, clearly all of Duolingo does not have oversight by a person who speaks and or use or writes this language. In fact, every one of their courses have at least one or two academic person. And then you might be arguing, well, they might be academic, they're not native. And I'm like, okay, I'm sorry to hear that. The last time I checked, Japanese people still learn English from someone that isn't, like, they didn't have to move to the United States to find that they have sufficient native understanding of English, for example, right? That kind of thing. It did used to be check. See, that's exactly what Seth is saying. That's not true. That's totally not true. But that's the generalization I'm talking about. The voices are AI and sentences are AI now, even since they remove forms. That's absolutely not true. Oh, you didn't really know the staff list was public available. Yeah, so what you said is exactly, it illustrates exactly my point about overgeneralization. And that's the echo chamber. That's the echo chamber of the internet for you. You think that all of Duolingo is generated by, like, people actually think because AI is integrated in something that there's no human oversight. Hang on. I'm seeing if there's a convenient place where they divided all the staff members. I mean, you could also argue, like people who have a principle of being correct, that, oh, they just put those people's names on there and their faces on a site just so that they get credibility without any any evidence. It's like, well, as far as I remember, lots of products that people trust don't have faces or names to them. Like, for example, I suppose if you want to do the same credibility, when you say you're fluent in a language, do you put your name and your face on a public website to show credibility? I think that's incredibly brave. I think most academics are responsible in that way. In fact, most of the time when I say I tend to avoid using my name and stuff, is because I was an academic before. So you can probably find my entire academic history online. Somewhere. Publicly available, by the way. I'm pretty sure my thesis is somewhere online. So much like Duolingo, unlike private corporations most of the time, Duolingo is a public corporation. Just the idea that they are willing to place their names on site. You don't know what it really does, but you did click on the little flag a couple of times to report that my answer should have been accepted. I tried clicking on that too, Gecko. I tried clicking on that too. I think the mobile app has something, but I haven't really used it. There's also a little thing at the end of a lesson set as well. Hey, it's a lesson, you know? It's very highly, I want to give, in my opinion, I try to give the benefit of the doubt to the people who are speaking, but at the same time, it also means that since I give the benefit of the doubt to the person I'm speaking to, I also give the benefit of the doubt to the people that I'm talking to. So when someone is telling me something, I expect that we are able to talk in great lengths about the significance of what we're saying, largely. Oh, there, Hooks. Again. Welcome back. Alright. Yeah, like, let me see. Let's illustrate. Like this thing? This button down here? I don't know what that does either. I don't know if it does anything. I don't know if this does anything. You sometimes do it in Japanese too, but only when you type a kanji instead of the kana and it's marked as wrong. Interesting. And since I'm not proficient in Japanese yet, I triple check before reporting it. Interesting. I didn't encounter too many situations where when I typed the kanji, it was marked wrong because they wanted the kana. Do you remember the example that you had? You use that report button too, but after using 25 times, you realize it does nothing, so you stop using. How do you know it does nothing? Hooks. So right now, obviously, we have no evidence to suggest that it does work, but I was not presented with any evidence that it doesn't work. So I have no idea. It would be interesting to hear how people prove it does nothing, because I don't really know how to prove that it does nothing, other than I don't observe anything happening. It would be great to get feedback though. Like, for example, even in automated feedback, like, we received your report, or an auto response. Wait, hold up. Now that I think about it, I'm not even sure if you like turned them off or not. You know? Like, do you get an email notification when you report something? Like, what I mean is, did I turn it off? I don't even know if I turn off all the notifications in Duolingo. So I don't even know if that means also turning off the report notification. And I can almost guarantee you 90%, maybe, no, not guarantee. I would say more than 50% have turned off all the notification on Duolingo. Except for like a reminder to do your Duolingo lessons. Maybe, something like that. But I would say probably a majority of the people who don't get any feedback, it's hard to know. And the fact that your answers being counted incorrect when they were correct didn't seem to decrease. That's a leap of logic. But sure. It would have to be the exact answer, but I don't see how you would, unless you literally tracked it. I find that really hard to believe. Not off the top of your head. You'll try to make a note next time it happens so that I can report it to you too. Oh yeah. True. Incentives. Europa. Wait.
Europa.
Europa. You didn't track it? I would love to see someone determine, like, determine that there's no one. You know what? It would be really funny to have like inside Duolingo person just like tell that, hey, do you know what happens when you hit the report button? Okay. Hear me out though. I don't think it does anything at the moment. However, I have no idea how long it takes for them to actually accumulate the stuff, because I find that most of the people here are fairly reasonable people, right? But think about it. Just think about the average user, all right? The average user is not me. Now think about how to parse that meaningful report. If we were going to paint this realistically, if that button actually worked, right? Which it probably does to some extent. Imagine the volume that they get from reporting from an average user. I don't even hit that report button. I just solve the problem myself, or like circumvent the problem myself, or like make a note or something. I don't even hit that report button. But I can definitely tell you that report is probably something that people spam all the time. Yeah, like 50% of the average user probably hit that report button multiple times a day. Maybe even for catharsis, probably. And just, oh, I'm angry, I'm triggered. Let's just click on this report button 4 times. So I'm kind of curious if it actually leads to something.
¿Quieres? Tiene.
Wait.
Tiene. Estudiar. Inglés.
I'm not disagreeing or agreeing. I just know that it's funny. How shall we figure this mystery out? I don't know. It would be fun to ask like a staff member. I don't know anyone. I'm not affiliated in any way. I don't know anyone that works at Duolingo. It would be really fun to know though. I'm not even sure if they can disclose that. I'm sure they can disclose that. Like, what does it look like at the other end is what I'm saying. I would love to know what it looks like at the other end. La oficina.
¿Tú tienes una oficina?
¿Dónde trabajas?
I sure hope someone at Duolingo does not have to go through all these reports manually. Oh god. Hopefully they got a system that highlights this. Yeah, that like based on frequency. This is what I'm thinking. Since the report has no manual input, right? No feedback thing. I imagine they have like some sort of distribution. You know what I mean? Across something. And then they could parse this out into like areas, and then they can prioritize them into a list, right? And then they would address them one at a time. But how long is this pipeline? Is it 40 days? Is it quantized? Right? Is it quantized? Is it quantized as in, is it binned? Right? Because when you bin these, what happens is it comes out in batches. What people think oftentimes, in my opinion, when it comes to like unilateral decision making, they believe that things should be fixed or can be fixed one at a time. And to me, that is incredibly inefficient. And the irony here is people are arguing about efficiency. They use the same type of logic about efficiency, and yet assume or presume that the way to fix things in these volume, high sample size things is to do them one at a time. That's crazy. Hopefully there's not a person there like manually looking each one's like one at a time. It's like, okay. Hey guys, someone keeps typing 420 over and over again, and they're complaining and reporting it by not being acceptable. What do we do about this? Right? Like, why do they keep typing 420? I don't know. It just says the person clicks report every time they have 420 marked as wrong. That would be absurd, but I'm thinking of all the major reasons why they would do that. That sounds reasonable, or just there to make us feel better. Goes to the trash. Catharsis. Yeah, I do honestly feel that people do click on things for catharsis. Like for example, the dislike button. Come on guys, how many times have you disliked something? I can tell you how many times I've disliked something on YouTube. I can also tell you how many times I've disliked anything across any social media. The answer is 0. I'll let you guys feel out how you feel about these things. I do have a way to avoid this feeling though. So most of the time I use don't recommend. So like for YouTube and stuff, I use don't recommend or what was it? Not interested. The feature that makes it so that I don't like continue to get the stuff, right? Like oh, this is interesting. I watched the YouTube short. I'm like, okay, maybe another time. So don't recommend. It comes back around after a year or something where so you push it off, right? You push it off. But I haven't clicked on dislike. It's not like I'm just disinterested. Like it doesn't, like I'm not interested in the thing, but it's not like I dislike or like it. Do I click like on YouTube videos? No, I don't. I also don't click on like. Yeah. Haven't yet. However, I do click on what is it? Like the love thing? If it's a video comment that I'm responding to. It helps me mark what video comments I responded to. That's all. Because this thing is identifiable. It's not identifiable if I click on like. So I did click on something that makes it identified as me because I want to take responsibility for the things that I write. So if I click on like and write a comment at the end, you can't define it doesn't identify me. So this is something that's close. So I do this as a channel owner. So my channel, right, on YouTube, right? If someone made a video comment and I'm responding to it, I click on something that identified that I responded to it. As opposed to like spamming like and dislike and whatnot. I don't know if I'm as virtuous as me, but I think I could count the number of times you put a thumbs down on anything on your fingers. Okay. I do use, yeah, I use don't recommend basically, or not interested. Use thumbs up more, but not that often. You dislike all brain rot, bro. TSM, I have no idea. So for me, I just don't recommend, not interested. So then they don't come up for like a year's time until it comes back around, and maybe I'll be interested in it again. Me and Fetishas talk about this all the time in the Discord, like the stuff that we have to sieve out. Like for example, reposting, view milling, view factories, sister sites, reposting of reposting, compilation sites. Like those channels, they stack on top of each other. So I use don't recommend and not interested in order to get a higher chance of finding or encountering the original posters, like the people creating the contents, not the people who are constantly reposting and compiling reposting and even splicing reposted content together. So, you know, nowadays it's a little bit scary, but usually it's two reposts being played at the same time. So two interesting things posted by other people slapped together. So just constantly slapped together. Or it's like it's copyright material. It's copyright material that is placed on a filter that's coming from a copyrighted material, like a channel that is filled with 1 minute excerpts of an episode of a television show. And it's so egregious in my opinion, to the point where if you go look at their video history, you can line up the entire episode when you splice together all the 1-minute clips. So there's a systematic mill where someone decided to take all the key scenes in which in that one episode it's represented across all of their entire YouTube like channels. It's TikTok slang? Okay, that's fine. I mean, I gathered that much. I thought it was TikTok slang. TikTok or internet slang. Really. Some of them are internet slang in general. Or abbreviation. But yes. Oh no. But yes. I'm not sure about being virtuous. Maybe it's just apathy, Gecko. I'm more apathetic. Is it really being virtuous if... Hear me out, Gecko. Some people are far more virtuous than I am because they dislike things to discourage and protect people from bad things. I think that's more virtuous. I'm not a very principled person. Like, for example, I'm complicit. Not technically saying disliking something because it's bad content would make me less virtuous. Or if you know what I mean. Like, I don't have like a... I don't think I'm doing people a favor. At least I don't think. I don't want to give people the idea that there's value in my work because I think it's valuable to others. I welcome other people to find value in what I do. In theory, bad content is subjective though. Yes, that's virtuous. Right? In my opinion. To be virtuous, one has to have a principle, right? Or I might be misinterpreting virtuous. Yeah, showing high moral standards. I have a lack of moral standards. It's probably a better, like, I don't think there are good and bad things. So that's why I don't click on like and dislike too often. A virtuous person would believe there are bad content and good content. So they would naturally be more likely to like and dislike because they're virtuous. They believe they have the higher moral standard. At least that's how I take virtuous, but I'm not sure if that's we're like using virtuous in the same way. Like, to me, it's like a piety. Someone who is virtuous, they know right and wrong. So they know what's bad and good. I don't necessarily know what's bad and good. Like, I make content not because I think it's valuable to people. I make content because it may be valuable to people. Like, there's a chance, and whoever finds it valuable, then I reciprocate the generosity. Although you can actually, I guess you could kind of say that is virtuous in its own way. Like, for example, maybe my virtuousness comes from the idea that I stick very vehemently towards that principle. Yeah, I think of value for me, I can share what I find is valuable, but the value of myself is determined by others when it concerns them. Unless your belief is that everyone's entitled to their own opinion, and who are you to judge? Yes, exactly. Yeah, that's exactly what I was gonna say. Yeah, Gecko, now that I'm saying this out loud, perhaps I'm virtuous in the sense that I stick to the idea that I don't really like rating people's opinions. I honestly don't. I'm either interested in their opinions or I'm not interested in their opinions, right? Whether it's good or bad, I think that's left up to other people, for sure. I can't. I feel very uncomfortable telling people like, oh, that's a bad opinion. I'm like, what the heck is a bad opinion? I'm sure those people who are much more capable of it can give me very excellent examples, and they're probably incredibly extreme examples which they might have cherry picked throughout their lives. But I'm talking about 90% of the time. Like, for example, you don't like spaghetti. And spaghetti is bad. There are probably plenty of instances in which someone said spaghetti is bad, and then plenty of instances where somebody said spaghetti is good. So following a normal distribution, it's kind of hard to quantify if spaghetti is bad is a bad opinion or not. However, that doesn't stop the vast majority of this generation or the internet users from slamming the dislike button when they disagree and slamming the like button when they agree. Right? It's dislike and like based on agreement. I don't have to agree with you to think that you're entitled to your opinions. And I don't have to disagree with you to believe that your opinion is bad or good, that kind of thing. Should you buy OnePlus 13 or Samsung Galaxy S25 Ultra? Don't they have a cost difference? What's your budget like? Oh, they don't have a cost difference. Holy heck. Since when did OnePlus 13 cost one grand? What the heck? How much does the Samsung cost? Wow, they actually cost the same. That is so absurd. Since when did OnePlus sell a 1K USD phone? No, I'm kidding. With that idea, okay. On the other hand, you like this quote. The problem with the world is that the intelligent people are full of doubts while the stupid ones are full of confidence. Oh man. This would be like another 3 hours of explaining how that makes me feel so sad to agree with that. Who made that quote, by the way? Yeah, intelligent people are clearly filled with doubt, for sure. With that idea, stupid people will tend to make their opinions louder and force it on to others more. In order to, you know. Pure flagship? I see. What do you think? Which, do you have a priority? Yes? Do you have a priority? There is also this weird coincidence that whenever Seth is around, so is Yes. Flip a coin. I'm kidding. I don't know. I don't know you well enough to say which one you should buy. I hope you find out what's important to you. Intelligent people are filled with doubt. That hits a lot harder than while stupid people are full of confidence. I think one of the interesting things, the duality about confidence in intelligent people is there's one thing they are very confident in about intelligent people. Intelligent people are confident that they don't know everything. So the one thing that they are most confident in is the confidence in their inability to answer questions without doubt. So I think one of the greatest confidence they have is their strength in their doubt. I think that's also their asset as well in terms of intellectuals. Without doubt, one does not seek clarity. Without doubt, one does not aim to broaden their horizons and inform themselves. So it comes with a whole package. If one says a stupid person is filled with confidence, that confidence keeps doubt at bay, which prevents them from okay. You thought we were learning Spanish? Well, we are. We are learning Spanish. This is part of the routine. You just want a good phone that lasts years? either or fills that situation, right? Yes. It's supposedly from Charles Bukowski, a writer. Interesting. Charles. American poet. Intriguing. German American poet. ¿Dónde trabajas? Where do you work? You haven't checked this channel in years? You mean months? That's fair. Alright. Me voy a la cama. Unfortunately, you don't have time to delve deeper into this conversation today. Yeah. Hasta luego, Gecko-san. Oyasumi nasai. He sounded Polish to you? I see. Yeah, we'll have to talk about this another time, Gecko. It's a very great... I have graphs. I wanted to start drawing like 3 graphs. There are 3 graphs I want to draw when it comes to the perception of... Instead of saying stupid, right? Instead of saying stupid, I would probably say ignorance, right? I usually use the word ignorance. Ignorance as opposed to competence, right? Competence and ignorance. As opposed to... Or curious versus I don't know what's the opposite of curious. Curious and apathy. Apathy and curiosity. Those are the graphs that I was gonna draw. So more on that next time. I might actually read something from this Charles Bukowski just because of that quote. Thanks for the share. I'll catch you next time, Gecko. It was a solid banter. Okay. Albert, tú trabajas mucho en la oficina. ¿Estás muy ocupada? Ocupado. Works.
¿Tú trabajas hoy?
Tú trabajas
hoy.
hoy. Do you work today?
¿Dónde trabaja Juan?
¿Dónde trabaja Juan? Hey. La mujer trabaja en una oficina y tiene una computadora.
Mu computador.
¿Quién habla español?
¿Quién habla español? ¿Quién? ¿A quién? ¿Quién habla español? Oh, wait. Oh, ¿quién? Oh, yeah. We missed our... We don't have ¿quién yet. ¿Quién yet? So now we have all 5 interrogative things, right? No, we don't have ¿cuál? They didn't go over ¿cuál yet. We have ¿dónde, cuándo, qué? ¿Dónde, cuándo, qué? ¿Cómo? And ¿quién? Still missing ¿cuál? There might be one more. Okay.
¿Quién?
¿Quién?
Yo quiero trabajar hoy.
Yo quiero trabajar. Wait. Okay. Imagine saying I want to work today.
Juan necesita trabajar hoy.
Juan necesita trabajar hoy.
Yo trabajo en una fábrica.
Fábrica. Yo trabajo en una fábrica. Fábrica. Take care. Take care, Seth. Yasuminasai.
Fábrica.
Fábrica.
¿Quién trabaja en una fábrica?
How are you saying that?
¿Quién trabaja en una fábrica?
Ugh. ¿Quién trabaja en una fábrica? Fábrica? That's kind of interesting. It's really close together.
Yo
Yo trabajo.
trabajo.
Oh, just kidding. Oh yeah.
Trabajo
Trabajo
en una
oficina.
oficina.
Eduardo. Eduardo. You want to work? Want to work on Saturday? Yikes.
¿Quieres
¿Quieres trabajar? El sábado, Eduardo.
el sábado, Eduardo?
Yo trabajo.
Trabajo
El
el lunes.
lunes.
Alright, let's get. Oh yeah, we gotta get on the ball now.
El
Yeah,
sándwich.
sandwich. Oh, we're going back.
Yo como un sándwich.
I am eating a sandwich. Not quite it, but okay.
El niño come un sándwich. El
El
niño.
niño
Un.
come un
Come.
El niño come un sándwich.
Sándwich.
La
La
ensalada.
ensalada. Oh, we're reviewing this now, huh?
Yo
Because of
como una
schedule.
ensalada.
Eating is part of the schedule, I suppose. Ay de mí. I'm not sure about yo como una ensalada being translated as I'm eating a sandwich or a salad. I'm kind of curious how they're gonna clarify the gerund.
El vino.
El vino.
Ella no bebe vino.
Ella no bebe vino. Do we have an alternative? Oops. Doesn't. Oops.
El jugo.
El jugo.
Yo bebo jugo.
Oh right, juice was the juice is an alternative that we have. Oops. I'm looking for drink.
Julia no bebe jugo.
Julia no bebe jugo. It's not. Estando vivir. Estando vivir. Beber.
La carne.
Yo como carne.
Okay, that's fine.
La niña quiere beber agua.
All right, these structures are fine. Buenas tardes, señora. ¿Usted quiere beber más café?
Café.
La niña.
La niña, oh man.
Come.
Come una ensalada.
Ensalada.
Juan, ¿quieres comer un sándwich?
Juan,
Um,
¿quieres comer un sándwich?
yo quiero. Oh, we don't really even need. Quiero.
Una.
Oops. Quiero
Comer
comer
una
una manzana.
manzana.
So what are they doing? I guess they're doing compound. They're doing verb phrases right now. Verb phrases.
Francia.
Francia.
Eres de Francia.
Eres es Francia. Okay.
¿Dónde vives?
¿Dónde vives?
Julia, ¿vives en México?
Julia, ¿vives en México?
¿Dónde vive Ana?
¿Dónde vive Ana?
El señor Ramos no vive en México.
Ah, Ramos.
Él
El
Señor
señor Ramos. Ah, no,
No
vive en México.
en México.
Yo vivo en una casa.
Yo vivo en una casa. It sounds funny out of context, but you could be living in an apartment. Casa. Él vive en una casa grande.
Grande.
Yo no vivo en Europa.
Europa. Europa. Yo no vivo en Europa. Europa. Ah! Oh, I forgot live. I dropped the live.
¿Dónde quieres vivir?
¿Dónde quieres vivir? Or phrases. Claudia. Claudia quiere vivir en Francia y comer en un restaurante francés.
Restaurante.
Restaurante.
Yo quiero vivir en México.
¿Qué?
Yo.
Yo quiero
vivir
vivir en México.
Yo quiero vivir en México.
Yo vivo en Inglaterra.
Inglaterra. Oh, this is the first time I've heard Inglaterra. Okay. Interesting. I mean, that is quite literally English and land. Inglaterra.
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 ¿Dónde vive Héctor?
Héctor. I like Héctor. Héctor is a great name. En Inglaterra. Y María, ¿dónde vive? Quiero comprar vino. ¿Tú?
Europa.
Europa. Europa. Europa.
Boleto.
Película.
¿Qué?
¿Qué?
Yo no vivo en Europa.
Okay. Now we do our review, right? There weren't too many new vocabulary words. I think it was largely focused on verb phrases and conjugation.
Yo no vivo en Europa.
¿Quieres?
Yeah, ¿quieres estudiar?
Estudiar.
Estudiar inglés?
Inglés.
¿Quieres comer más pan?
Yeah, largely verb phrases. Mujer.
Computadora.
¿Dónde quieres trabajar?
Entonces, oh, we did get trabajar. So. Okay.
Restaurante.
Restaurante.
¿Dónde quieres estudiar?
¿Dónde quieres estudiar? Oops. Okay.
Yo no quiero trabajar el domingo.
Yo no quiero trabajar el domingo. Okay, don't want to work on Sundays.
¿Él es tu esposo?
¿Él es tu esposo? ¿Quién? ¿El hombre con sombrero? No. No.
Yo quiero vivir en Inglaterra. Yo, vivir, quiero.
Yo quiero vivir en Inglaterra.
Yo quiero vivir en Inglaterra.
Oh, Inglaterra.
Yo quiero trabajar hoy. Yo.
Yo quiero trabajar hoy.
Hoy. ¿Quién quiere vivir en México?
¿Quién
¿Quién
vivir? ¿Quién?
Quiere.
¿Quién quiere vivir en México?
¿Quién quiere vivir en México?
Who wants to live in Mexico? Okay. All right, let's do the legends. Expect it. Let's go.
¿Quién trabaja en una oficina?
¿Quién trabaja en una oficina?
Sara vive en Estados Unidos.
Vive.
Vive.
Señor, ¿quiere la ensalada con queso?
No, gracias.
¿Quién estudia francés?
¿Quién?
¿Quién?
¿Eres de Francia?
¿Eres de
de
Francia? El hombre, quiero comer un hamburguesa. No,
Sándwich.
Yo
Yo
trabajo
trabajo en
en
California. ¿Usted quiere beber más café?
Tú vives en Australia.
Tú vives en
Australia.
Australia.
Tú vives en Australia.
Australia.
No, yo no estudio inglés.
Yo no estudio inglés.
El gato Paul es muy peculiar. Él no come pescado, no trabaja, bebe vino y vive en una casa azul en Inglaterra con un doctor.
What the heck? That is a weird cat. Excuse me? El gato Paul is weird. I guess lives with the doctor. Peculiar. Weird. But doesn't eat fish or work. And it drinks wine.
Yo quiero hablar español.
El niño no quiere comer una hamburguesa. Él es vegetariano. Él quiere comer una ensalada y beber un jugo de tomate.
Okay. El niño quiero una hamburguesa. No. Él es vegetariano. So no quiere ensalada. No come carne. No quiero trabajar mañana. Estoy muy cansada. Works. Don't want to work tomorrow. Very tired. Tú bebes. ¿Dónde vive? ¿Y tú? Oh, hijo, ¿dónde vive?
Vive.
¿Quién
¿Quién? ¿Quién habla
habla
español?
español?
Yo no estudio.
Estudio.
Tú
Estudias.
estudias. Okay. All right. Let's do our first story. One ticket to Barcelona.
Un boleto para Barcelona.
Junior.
Junior está en el aeropuerto. Él habla con la mujer del mostrador.
Okay. The woman at the desk.
¿Te puedo ayudar en algo?
Quiero un boleto para Barcelona.
Wait, why is Junior in the airport alone? Isn't he like 10 or 8? No. Barcelona.
¿Dónde están tus padres?
Okay.
¿Perdón? Yo no tengo 7 años.
Okay, he's just saying he's not 7 years old. So he's probably 8 years old.
¿Y cuántos años tienes?
Tengo 8 años.
Of course he's 8 years old.
Un boleto para Barcelona cuesta $400.
That's actually, I guess it depends on where he's traveling from, but it's pretty reasonable. 400? That's pretty reasonable.
Está bien. ¿A dónde puedo ir con $13?
What the heck?
Eddie, el papá de Junior, corre al mostrador.
Alright.
Junior, aquí estás. ¿Qué haces en el aeropuerto?
Wait, why are you asking your kid what are you doing at the airport?
Hoy tengo un examen de matemáticas. Necesito salir del país.
Okay, that's funny. He's leaving the country because he has an exam. He has a math exam.
Está bien. ¿Cuánto cuesta el boleto?
What?
$400.
¿Y cuánto cuestan 2 boletos?
Ooh, he's getting him to do math.
$800.
Muy bien. Eres muy bueno en matemáticas.
There you go.
Estás listo para tu examen.
You're ready. He's ready for this math test, right? Listo. ¿Estás listo para tu examen? Alright. ¿Cuántos años tienes? Listo. Para padres. Aeropuerto. That was cute. That's a cute one. Alright, let's play it back.
Un boleto para Barcelona. Junior está en el aeropuerto. Él habla con la mujer del mostrador.
¿Te puedo ayudar en algo?
Quiero un boleto para Barcelona.
¿Dónde están tus padres?
It's interesting, this conjugation. Están tus padres. Because we're talking about the parents, right? Padres, parents, plural. So it has to be yours, plural yours. And then están, where are the parents? So están has to be they.
Perdón, yo no tengo 7 años.
And we haven't gone over they yet. And like plural conjugations. Largely they stuck with singular. Like he, she, you. So I, you, he, she, you.
¿Y cuántos años tienes?
Tengo 8 años.
Un boleto para Barcelona cuesta $400.
Encuesta for cost.
Está bien. ¿A dónde puedo ir con $13?
Eddie, el papá de Junior, corre al mostrador.
Junior, aquí estás. ¿Qué haces en el aeropuerto?
Hoy tengo un examen de matemáticas. Necesito salir del país.
So my question is, did Junior go to the airport and then Eddie found out that he's at the airport? That's kind of weird. That's kind of... What the heck, Eddie?
Está bien. ¿Cuánto cuesta el boleto?
$400.
¿Y cuánto cuestan 2 boletos?
$800.
Muy bien. Eres muy bueno en matemáticas. Estás listo para tu examen.
Now we gotta talk about your parenting, Eddie. And now there's another subject. Matemáticas. Ahora, ¿cuántos años tienes? Padres. Ayudar. Right, to help. Alright. Off we go into the second set. Now we're gonna do typing. Side 2.
Cartera.
Cartera.
Fiesta.
Fiesta.
Película.
Película.
Estudiar.
Estudiar.
Tú no estudias.
Tú no estudias.
Semana.
Semana.
Domingo.
Domingo.
Carro.
Carro. Hablar.
Juan quiere hablar español.
Juan quiere hablar español.
Él quiere hablar inglés.
Tú.
Tú estudias
Estudias.
español.
Español.
Juan estudia francés y español.
Sí, yo estudio español.
Estudio.
Estudias.
Joel habla español, inglés y francés. Él es mexicano y es profesor de inglés en la universidad.
¿De dónde es? How do you pronounce this guy's name?
Joel.
Joel. I thought for a moment.
Joel habla español, inglés y francés. Él es mexicano y es profesor.
Yes,
La
yes, yes.
niña no quiere estudiar.
Estudiar. Yo no estudio.
Estudio. Estudias.
¿Estudias? Ella estudia medicina. Medicina. Estudio francés. What the? What the? Oh, right. Right, keyboard. Keyboard. Oh my gosh, I didn't have this window clicked. Okay. Oh, I don't have to capitalize that. That's right. Shouldn't capitalize that as well. Juan quiere estudiar inglés. That works. Señora. Señora, ¿hablas inglés? Oh, usted. Yeah, true. Okay. That idiosyncrasy is all fine. El señor Pérez estudia español. Antonio habla español. Okay. Next one.
Semana.
Pasaporte.
Oficina.
Partido.
¿Tú trabajas hoy?
¿Tú trabajas hoy?
Oficina.
Cansado.
Sábado.
Bien.
¿Ella trabaja mañana?
¿Ella trabaja mañana?
¿Quién trabaja en una oficina? ¿Quién?
Juan necesita trabajar hoy.
¿Quién trabaja en una fábrica? Bien. ¿Quién?
Yo quiero trabajar hoy.
David. Trabaja en una oficina.
Trabajas. Estoy muy cansada. Tú trabajas. Yo trabajo. ¿Estás muy ocupado? Trabajo en el fábrica. Oh no. Oh wait. Una fábrica? Okay. That's fine. I've got the gender. For a moment there. Trabajo el lunes. Forgot to capitalize. It's fine. No trabajo hoy. Oh, you. Oops. You, not as in me, but you as in you. No quiero trabajar el domingo. No trabajas hoy. Okay.
Película.
Bien.
Jugo. Más.
¿Quieres jugo, Carolina?
¿Quieres jugo, Carolina?
Comer.
Ocupado.
Jueves.
Martes.
David no quiere una ensalada.
David. Second David.
Sí, yo quiero beber más vino.
Vino. La niña. Está. La niña está. See, I would say la niña está comiendo una ensalada. Yeah, as opposed to la niña, for the girl is eating a salad.
El niño come un sándwich.
Oh boy. Okay. Just gonna force my hand. Juan. ¿Quieres comer un sándwich?
El hombre bebe vino.
Yo como un sándwich.
Julia, ¿quieres beber jugo?
Beber un jugo? Or un jugo? Or just beber jugo?
Julia, ¿quieres beber jugo? Julia, ¿quieres beber jugo?
Oh, whoops. I wrote the wrong thing.
Señor, no tengo vino. ¿Quiere beber un jugo de manzana con la carne?
I was so focused on, I'm like, did they miss an article or not? Or did they use an article or not? ¿Dónde está el señor? Restaurante. En un restaurante works.
El niño come un sándwich.
La niña no come carne. Ella quiere comer una ensalada. Okay. Yo como carne. Yo quiero comer una hamburguesa.
Comer.
¿Quién quiere comer más carne o más pan? Pan works.
Sí, yo quiero beber más agua.
Beber más agua.
Julia, ¿quieres beber jugo?
Interesting. No article. All right.
¿Tú vives en Francia?
¿Tú vives en Francia?
Comer. Inglaterra.
Inglaterra.
Cansado.
Café.
El señor Pérez vive en una casa.
El señor Pérez vive en una casa.
Europa.
Europa.
Computadora.
Computadora.
Estudiar.
Estudiar. Semana.
¿Tú vives en Europa?
Vives.
Vives. Yo tengo una casa en México.
Yo quiero vivir en Francia. Vivir.
David vive en Europa.
Europa.
Fred estudia francés y español. Él tiene un hermano en España y quiere vivir en Francia.
¿Dónde quiere vivir Fred? Fred. Francia. En Europa.
Él vive en una casa grande.
No vivo en Europa. Claudia. Claudia. Habla una. No. Tiene una casa en Francia y trabaja en una universidad en Inglaterra. Wow, that's a long question. Yeah, that's fine.
Yo
No
vivo en Inglaterra.
¿Tú vives en Inglaterra? Ecuador. Eduardo. Eduardo. ¿Dónde? ¿Ne? ¿Dónde? Yo trabajo en Londres. Londres. Interesting. I haven't seen London either. Okay. Quiero vivir en Inglaterra. Vivo en los Estados Unidos. Oh, you. Oh, I keep reading the other way around. Oh, I'm doing the reading chat thing where I turn I into you and oh no. Yeah. Quiero vivir en Francia. Oh, no accent. Not Francia. Whoops. You. Vives en los. Okay. Next one.
Julia, ¿quieres beber jugo?
Vivo en. I did it again. Vives en los Estados Unidos. No trabajas. Trabajas. Wait.
Sara vive en Estados Unidos.
Oh gosh. Tú no quieres. ¿Quieres estudiar español?
Español. ¿Dónde quieres trabajar?
Okay.
Señorita,
La señorita Pérez no trabaja.
Hoy.
¿Quieres trabajar el sábado, Eduardo?
Eduardo.
Sí.
Y señor.
El
El señor Sánchez. Sánchez habla español.
Habla español.
¿Dónde quieres estudiar?
El señor Pérez trabaja en
una
oficina.
Ok. El señor Ramos. Ramos. No vive en México. Okay. Alright, let's do our legends. Right? Legend. Sí, como carne. No the or anything. Okay, that's fine. El sándwich. Juan quiere hablar español. Ups. La ensalada.
Quiero.
Quiero trabajar hoy.
¿Quién habla español?
¿Quién habla español? Sí, quiero beber más agua.
Sí, yo quiero comer más pan.
Comer más pan. Mi madre vive. ¿Dónde vives tú?
Vives.
Tú trabajas
Trabajas en una oficina. Yo no trabajo. Mi esposa trabaja. Tú estudias inglés y francés.
¿Quieres jugo, Carolina?
¿Quieres jugo? What?
¿Quieres jugo, Carolina?
Okay, I guess. Sí, el señor Sánchez habla español.
Fred estudia francés y español. Él tiene un hermano en España y quiere vivir en Francia.
La niña no quiere estudiar.
El gato Paul es muy peculiar. Él no come pescado, no trabaja, bebe vino y vive en una casa azul en Inglaterra con un doctor.
Okay. All right. Second story. Oh, it's the return of the chaqueta rojo, right?
La chaqueta roja.
Roja. Oh, yeah, right. That's la chaqueta roja.
Lily está en una tienda de ropa con su amiga Sari.
Esta tienda es muy cara.
Mm-hmm.
Sí. ¡Guau! Esta chaqueta roja es perfecta.
Sari.
Me encanta este color.
Sari.
Quiero comprar esta chaqueta.
¡Sari!
¿Qué?
La chaqueta cuesta $500.
¿Qué?
Sari, tú no necesitas una chaqueta nueva.
Pero Lily, hoy es mi cumpleaños.
¿Ah, sí?
Y tú eres mi mejor amiga.
Sí,
Y el regalo perfecto para mí es...
una chaqueta barata.
Chaqueta. Quiero. Amiga. Me encanta. Necesitas. Alright. Run it back.
La chaqueta roja. Lily está en una tienda de ropa con su amiga Sari.
Esta tienda es muy cara.
Sí. ¡Wow! Esta chaqueta roja
Es
perfecta.
Perfecta.
Sari.
Me encanta
Canta
este
esta
color.
Sari.
Quiero
Comprar esta chaqueta. Ok. Comprar.
¿Qué?
La chaqueta cuesta $500.
¿Qué?
Sari, tú no necesitas una chaqueta nueva.
Pero, Lily, hoy
Hoy
es mi cumpleaños.
Ah, sí.
Y
Tú
tú eres mi mejor amiga.
Sí,
Y el regalo perfecto para mí es...
una chaqueta barata.
Perfecta. Amiga. Roja. Quiero. Cara. Okay. Alright, personalized practice. Let's go.
¿Dónde está el banco?
¿Dónde está el banco?
Yo no soy estudiante.
Yo no soy estudiante.
¿Dónde está el profesor?
¿Dónde está
Es
el
el
profesor?
Este reloj es demasiado caro.
Ese reloj es demasiado caro. Okay. Ups. Ah.
¿Dónde está el supermercado?
¿Dónde está el supermercado? Supermercado. Supermercado. Autobús. Autobús. Está aquí. Mi gato es bonito. Mi hija es inteligente. Él es un niño. Mi familia es interesante. Mi pasaporte está en el hotel.
Es ella.
All right.
Yo necesito escribir en clase.
Yo necesito escribir en clase.
Yo necesito estudiar.
Yo escribo con mi maestro.
Yo escribo con mi maestro.
Yo no estudio español.
Yo necesito escribir en español.
Yo necesito escribir en español.
Yo no estudio medicina.
Yo escribo. Yo escribo. Necesito escribir.
Escribir.
Yo escribo en español.
Escribo en español. Estudio Estudio medicina.
Yo quiero estudiar español.
Estudiar. Quiero estudiar. Ups.
Yo estudio medicina.
Yo estudio medicina.
Yo no soy estudiante.
No estudio. Oh. No es estudiante. Oh. Whoops. Sorry. Whoops. Wrong conjugation. Vivo.
Mi maestro.
Maestro.
Yo no soy estudiante.
Thanks. Okay.
Yo tengo un examen importante.
Yo tengo un examen importante.
Muy fácil.
Muy fácil. En mi universidad.
Yo escribo con mi maestro.
Una clase fácil.
Una clase fácil.
Yo necesito escribir en clase.
Ese. No. Este examen es fácil.
Yo quiero leer en español.
Oops. Oh yeah, that's fine. Yo escribo. Necesito escribir.
Escribir.
Necesito
Leer
leer
un libro. Necesito escribir en español. Quiero leer en español.
Mi maestro.
Mi maestro. Ese. Medicina. Tienda. Regalo. Ropa.
¿Tú estudias medicina?
¿Tú estudias medicina? Oh, estudias. Oops. That was my bad. Lees en la computadora? Oh. Is this masculine? It is.
Yo tengo un problema.
El PC.
Yo tengo un problema.
Yo tengo un problema. Escribes en... Oh, jeez. Escribes en el PC.
En la escuela.
En la escuela. Oops. ¿Estudias medicina?
Soy estudiante.
No leo mucho. Quiero estudiar. Escribo mucho. Estudio en la universidad. Quiero leer en español. Este examen es fácil. El profesor está aquí. ¿Estudias en la universidad? ¿Dónde está el libro? Está mi libro. No comprendo. Ups. No comprendo la pregunta. Oh, the Q and the G. I keep swapping Q and G. What is wrong with me right now? I did that all day. ¿Dónde está mi Hirome? Okie dokie. All right, let's get to the podcast. Podcast time. Hit me up. Who's that man? It's Lucy. Conspiracy.
Welcome back to Lucy is Listening, where I uncover hidden messages in everyday conversations. Before we listen in, here are some words you should know.
Nunca. Oficina. ¿Quién? Trabaja.
I'm your host, Lucy, and today we're listening to a conversation about a suspicious coworker.
¿Quién es ese hombre?
Es Rodolfo. Él trabaja aquí.
¿Dónde trabaja Rodolfo? Nunca está en la oficina.
Ah, él trabaja en la fábrica. Ah, él trabaja en la fábrica.
¿Y es de aquí?
No, Rodolfo es de Francia y vive aquí. Rodolfo es de Francia.
Interesante. ¿Él habla francés?
Sí, habla francés, inglés y español.
Trilingual.
He works at a mysterious off-site location, and he speaks 3 languages. Rodolfo's not a factory worker. He's a secret operative.
Yes.
I'll get
exactly
to the bottom
the
of this.
logic we're used
Remember, I'm always listening.
I like today's filled with hot takes. We got a bunch of hot takes today.
Lo siento, yo no hablo francés.
Lo siento, yo no hablo francés. I totally blanked out.
¿Tú estudias español?
¿Tú estudias español? Oh, that bug. ¿Tú estudias español?
Yo necesito estudiar más.
Estudiar más.
Yo estudio francés.
Trabajo en una fábrica.
Antonio, habla. Español.
¿Quién trabaja el domingo?
Juan estudia. Juan estudia francés y español.
¿Quién trabaja en una oficina?
David. David estudia inglés.
Inglés.
¿Tú quieres hablar español?
Hablar. Estoy muy cansado.
¿Tú trabajas en una oficina?
Trabajas.
Señora,
¿Usted?
usted
Usted
habla
inglés.
inglés.
All right.
El señor Pérez vive en una casa.
El señor Pérez vive en una casa.
Ella no bebe vino.
Ella no bebe vino. Yo vivo en Inglaterra. Inglaterra. ¿Ingla? Oh no, ¿inglés? Inglaterra.
Juan.
Juan quiere comer una banana.
Banana.
Banana. Okay. ¿Quién quiere vivir en México?
Sí.
Quiero
beber
más agua.
agua.
I remember to hydrate. Yo quiero vivir en Europa. Europa. Vivo en Estados Unidos. Ah. I gotta see that again.
David, comes carne.
What?
David, comes carne.
Come carne.
David, comes carne.
Good question. Comes carne. Vives en Francia. Señor. Usted.
La mujer.
No, la mujer.
Bebe. Bebe. Jugo.
El hombre bebe vino.
El hombre bebe vino. Julia. ¿Vives en México? México.
La niña
Oh,
come una ensalada.
okay, so what did I do? Oh, I did it again. Vives. I did it again. Vives en los Estados Unidos. I did it again. The you and I, like you and I. All right.
¿Quieres jugo, Carolina?
¿Quieres jugo, Carolina?
Sí, ella vive en Australia.
Sí. Ella vive en California. Oh, Australia.
Él quiere hablar inglés.
Shows how much I was listening.
Él quiere hablar inglés.
Él quiere hablar inglés. Oh, inglés. Not a question.
Yo quiero comer más pan.
Yo quiero comer más pan. No estudio inglés. Vives en los Estados Unidos. David, comes carne.
David no quiere una ensalada.
No come ensalada. Wait a minute.
David no quiere una ensalada.
Oh, no quiere una ensalada.
Sí, ella vive en Australia.
Oh, Australia. Yo quiero trabajar hoy.
Julia, ¿quieres vivir en México?
Julia, wait.
Julia, ¿quieres vivir en México?
Oh, wait, this isn't a question.
Julia, ¿quieres vivir en México? Julia, ¿quieres vivir en México?
It's a question. ¿Estudias inglés y francés? Okay. No trabajas hoy. Ella trabaja mañana. Oops. Señor. ¿Hablas español? David estudia inglés. Ella no trabaja en una fábrica. Vives en Europa. Europa. Okay. Last one, trophy. We do our trophy.
¿Quién
¿Quién estudia francés?
Es francés.
¿Dónde te estudias? Trabajo en California. No estudia, no estudio. Oh, I did it again.
Yo no quiero comer
You,
pan. Gracias.
you not referring to me, but you as in literal you.
Yo no quiero comer pan. Gracias.
Yo no quiero. Pan. Gracias. ¿Más pan? Oh, no quiero comer pan. Gracias.
¿Tú vives en Europa?
Europa. That's not a question. Sense.
David, ¿quieres trabajar mañana?
Señor, ¿usted vive en Europa?
Señor, usted vive en Europa. Oh, whoops. Conjugation agreement. Juan quiere hablar español.
Yo quiero vivir en Francia.
Francia. Pedro. Trabajas en una oficina.
¿Quién trabaja el domingo?
¿Quién trabaja el semana?
¿Quién trabaja el domingo?
El domingo.
Domingo.
Week. That's not how that works. Sí, vivo en Inglaterra. Oops. Señor, ¿hablas español? Oh, typing. No. Bebo. Baby. Baby. Bebe vino. No estudias.
Señor, ¿usted vive en Europa?
All right. And that's a wrap for today. We're gonna keep trying to aim for 1 hour a little bit earlier, right? Keep on aiming 1 hour earlier. Let's look at how many. 20? 20 is not bad, so we're gonna aim a little lower tomorrow instead of 20. What do you have? Francia, Inglaterra, vivir, all the forms of vivir, vives, Europa, vive, vivir. There's vino, comer, trabajar, trabajo, right? Oficina. Interesting. Trabajas. Fábrica. Fábrica is paired with oficina, right? Vino, I guess, is paired with Hugo, but Hugo is a repeat. Hablar. Estudiar. Oh, okay, all the other forms. And then quien, our next to last interrogative. Francis. So largely verbs, right? So trabajar, vivir, estudiar, escribir, escribir, hablar. Then we have quien, then vino, Hugo, pair up, and trabaja, the nouns, right? Nouns, and that's about it. Oh, and locations. Francia, Inglaterra, and Europa. Not a lot today. Not a lot today. Let's look at what's different here. See if there's anything different. What do we have on the mobile front for this evening? For myself, as always, feel free to follow along if you guys are on the mobile. I think the stories are still the same. One ticket to Barcelona, right? And the La Chaqueta Roja, right? So we have, as usual, 3 podcasts in the same positions, right? Here, here. Oh, that's interesting. Yeah. So it flanks the personalized practice. And then we have our events of our adventure, right? Here's our adventure. Pods. These are our pods. What do you have for pod 1? Juice and salad. Interesting. Don't know who that might be. This one's legitimately titled Learning Language. Learning languages. I guess that does check out for what's today. Because we have francés, right? Oh, francés, español, and inglés as a topic. Juice and salad. It's juice and salad. Maybe they throw in like vino. And what's opposite of salad? Maybe like sandwich or hamburguesa. Something opposite of that. Maybe cafe for the juice thing pivot. And then what is the last? Last one is living preferences. Can't spell preference. Okay. So one of them is okay, it's definitely gonna be, I think one of them might be this guy, juice and salad. Feels like possibly Falstaff. Learning, oh no, but learning languages could be Falstaff. This could be Falstaff, actually. Juice and salad? One of these could be one of them is, oh man, we have Lynn, Possible, Lily, and Lucy. Those are the mundane stuff. Living preferences. I think this one, overhearing, I feel like this is a Lucy thing. And one of these is Lynn, or we're gonna say Lily. And then Lily's just gonna say, I don't really care. What do we got for adventure? The babysitter. Eddie? Eddie might be the babysitter. Or it could be Zadi. Because Zadi's around Hunir a lot. Anyways, same deal. 3 podcasts. It looks like this is the routine now, right? 3 podcasts, adventure. I like to. This is insignificant for now, but I think it's very. It's a thing I do for everything, like for most things. So when I buy something or about to read something, I think about what's going to happen, right? That's a fun thing to do as an exercise. So like juice and salad is kind of on the head, but you know, we have the use of our vino is a new one. Vino. And then our phrases like quiero comer, right? Quiero comer, or it's probably just quiero comer, quiero beber. And then for this one, the learning language, we have francés, inglés, español. And we could use hablar, escribir, and then put in like quiero or estudiar. So quiero, necesitar, like querer and necesitar could be in this one. And then for living preferences, oh, that's interesting. Oh, like where to live, like Francia, Australia, it's funny that Australia is not in here, but probably something about Francia, and just France, probably. Maybe like Barcelona or Madrid, something like that. Throw in a location. Probably not in what year. So to use vivir, right? To be vivir, and that's it. That's the other. Most of it was conjugating. Lots of conjugating and verb phrases. And the babysitter, it's kind of a. The adventure ones are kind of all over the place, so I don't know how this is gonna go. Last one was about clothing, which was not part of the unit. So they're kind of like mixing it up a little bit, but it's not vocabulary I wouldn't know. But adventure seems to encapsulate everything that came before, whichever. It's kind of a nice balance. It's more like a practice, personalized practice, like a version of personalized practice. And maybe some teasers. The podcast definitely follows on the head, right? And mostly I kind of like the punchlines. The punchlines are kind of fun. It would be cool eventually, maybe they'll be in Spanish. Who knows? All right. That's a wrap for today. Wrap for Spanish. If you're going to watch this later, muchas gracias. So, have fun, right? Enjoy. Hope everyone's doing well. You're always welcome to follow along, or if you're not shy, I suppose, I guess now I have a bunch, occasionally from time to time, I have people who aren't shy. If you're not shy about your hot takes, feel free to drop your hot takes. I can't say I'm gonna be too surprised by hot takes. Hot takes are pretty hot and they're pretty loud, so I probably heard most of the hot takes. But if you ever want to, I don't know, hear me react or digress to a hot take, then certainly, you know, no answer, not too many clear answers, only discussions, right? Or mostly discussions. Don't have correct answers, yes or no's, or good and bads. Fun to discuss though. Fun to discuss, like we discussed today, multiple times actually. So until then, hasta luego. Right, take care, stay safe, and catch you guys on the next one. Adios.